Hello everybody and welcome to No Guns Life episode 23, season 2 episode 11, anime review. In this episode we're inching ever closer to the finale. Everything sort of goes to hell. The government gets involved, the other government gets involved, a lot of governments getting, like Baruran's involved, EMS gets involved, everyone's getting involved for real. A lot of stuff going down. We also had this weird CG fight, don't know how I feel about that really. Could have done with not being CG, if I'm being completely honest. I get why it was, but you know, CG's not always the greatest. But anyway, let's jump into the episode, see exactly how everything went down, and do this thing. We begin with quite a lengthy recap of last week's episode. Not really sure it needed to be that long, if I'm being completely honest, but hey, we'll do what we gotta do. Juzo tells Tetsuro that the only people that are allowed to touch the trigger are the people that he has accepted. Tetsuro though, Juzo though says, basically he hasn't even accepted himself, therefore he can't accept other people because he hasn't accepted the way he is himself. Tetsuro says, hey, I'm not going to pull that trigger, you have to pull the trigger yourself because you're not a tool, damn it. You are a person, and only you can decide when you pull the trigger. Harmony is just a tool, basically, to help you decide what to do. I'm not going to do anything. It's up to you, and it is up to him. It's the way things have to go. I think it's a good effort from Tetsuro to. I'm glad they didn't just go for the straight old Tetsuro controls him. You know, they're actually doing this thing called character development. What? Yeah, I know, crazy, right? Everyone's watching the incident on the news, like characters we know, characters we don't know, whatever. Olivier hears Cronin already went ahead and is like, that's a bit surprising. Baruran guy, big fat Baruran guy, he's annoyed because Seven and Pepper have caused a scene. They're meant to be discreet, they're maybe like the Shadow Ops. They're not doing that. They have caused a full-on scene, the news is involved and everything, so they gotta sort that out. Cronin is fighting Seven for a bit while, Tetsuro's doing the thing with Juzo. Pepper says, hey, there's no saving Juzo now and everything, and Cronin asks, why are they doing this and everything? While this conversation's going on, they're completely surrounded by Baruran, who are attacking everyone. They're not they're not helping Pepper and that out, they are trying to shoot them as well. They have gone too far, this whole thing, they're trying to cover it up, they don't want any of this being linked back to Baruran. So hence why they're shooting everyone. Pepper and Seven are also in trouble, as well as Cronin and Tetsuro, and also Juzo. Everybody is in trouble from the EMS. Not the EMS, the Baruran. They're the people that are causing all the trouble. Pepper and Seven jump up a nearby building to escape, and she sees a lot of normal people watching her. And then, so it turns out, she just wanted someone to look at her. I guess she was neglected a lot and just wants someone to pay attention to her, regardless whether she's doing good or bad things. Orders Seven to destroy everything so that people will always look at her, because, you know, being a terrorist gets people to pay attention to you, actually, turns out. They both then get shot. Pepper definitely gets her arm blown off, which is a notable thing, by just some guy, not too sure who he is. Seven grabs her and is protecting her and everything while that's going on. He says he's going to make her wish come true, so Seven is going to go destroy anything, because she told him to, basically. And, you know, I would say medical attention is more immediate, as, you know, is a plot point, I guess, later on. Medical attention for a missing arm is pretty important. Back to the dream world now. Tetsuro says that he's fought for everyone else, so he needs to pull his own trigger. That is being Juzo, of course. He's fought for everyone, so now he's going to make the decision himself. Fight for himself now. Fight for his own sake. So that happens, and then we go back to the real world briefly. He pulls the trigger, by the way. I should probably mention that. We go back to the real world, and Juzo shows up with a big arm, and he's all CG, and it's weird, and why, you know? Very, very odd, but he stands in Seven's way. He's about to fight. It's gonna go down. What they say, the bullet and the wish has been loaded, is what they say, both Tetsuro and Juzo. So there's about to be a big old fight, is the gist of it. His big new CG giant muscle arm form is strong, I guess. I don't really have much else to add on that. It looks pretty weird, if I'm being honest. And the CG doesn't help, but hey, it could be worse. Juzo says that he's hid behind his job so he didn't have to fulfill his own wish, but he's done with hiding. He's facing forward, he's going to face his wishes, he's going to do what he can. He doesn't want Seven to go down the same route that Juzo himself said. and says to him basically, hey, if she's not treated, she's gonna die. So are you sure you want to go destroy everything, or are you gonna make your own choice and go and save her, basically? And yeah, I think he is going to end up making the choice to save her instead of destroying everything, which is good. I think they might almost be good guys by the end of this. Not maybe they're more like anti-heroes, because obviously they can't go back to Baruin because they're attacking him and everything. So that's not great. He gets mad because he's talking about his wish, and Seven doesn't like that. They have a CG fight, which is kind of weird. Like, there's these weird cuts. They're like fade cuts. They're very odd. It was fine, I guess, what it was. As I said, CG. It was a completely CG fight, which is better than it being half and half, but still a bit weird, still a bit jarring. At the end of it, Tetsuro isn't a hand standing behind him. He's a friend looking him in the eye. That's why he's so much stronger. And they sort of reverse it. So this is the difference between those with a hands and those without. Because Juzo's not got one. He's stronger because he's actually got friends and is acting as a person. They sort of flipped what they said whenever it was. Last week, I think. And Juzo wins the fight. He like blasts half Seven's body away. So things have gone well for your boy Juzo. Very end of the episode, we have the Baruin statues watching everything and commenting on what they got to do next. Basically, they talk about their plans. Gonna get the original back, that being Tetsuro, because they can't reproduce Harmony, so they need him back for their plans, basically. However, one lady, some woman, says that, hey, let's wait and watch his power grow a little bit more, because his power seems to improve when he's on, he's at his wit's end, he doesn't quite know what to do. In times of desperation, his power grows, so let's leave it, nurture his power further before we go back and get him, basically, which is a pretty alright plan, all things considered. I'm gonna be honest, that's a pretty good plan for them. I don't agree with them, they're bad guys, but it's a good plan. That was the end of the episode. Pretty good for a penultimate episode. I guess next week we're going to do a lot of epiloguing, sort of. I'm going to assume that they're going to patch up Seven and, what's her name? My god, Pepper. So that is the thing I think is going to happen. They're going to may not be friendly, but they're going to be like, we owe you one, and then they're going to leave maybe. It's going to be mostly epilogue-ish next week. That's what I feel, but that's next week. What was my favourite part of this episode, though? That's a real question. My favourite part of the episode was, putting it quite frankly, Juzo coming to the realisation of what he has to do thanks to Tetsuro. Tetsuro telling him what he's got to do. It's no longer just, Juzo's protecting Tetsuro. They are on equal footing now. Tetsuro has saved Juzo through doing this. I like that a lot. It's almost full circle in a way, which I'm on board with that. Kind of like that a lot. But yeah, next week's the finale. Should be good, hopefully. I think No God's Life is underrated. I've said that every episode. But I'm really enjoying it. I would be a bit gutted it's gone, I'm in no position to especially want a season 3. But, I think this has been an alright show, quite frankly. I think it's very underrated. That's what I would say. It's got a very interesting world. Not going to go into all that now. And hopefully the ending of this anime series doesn't completely suck. But anyway, thank you everybody for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing and stuff for more reviews. That would help me out a lot. I will see you next week for another episode of this. Take care, and bye guys.